It has been 3 days since we set the record on the Fast Racing Series and Larry Kirkham's Corvette, and we are already back to work trying to figure out why this thing does not make any horsepower. And as you can see behind me, we have this thing figured out. So I don't exactly know how this video is going to end, but I got a feeling it's going to be very promising because here in about 4 hours, we're going to head north to 131 Motorsports Park and put this thing on the track, and I think this thing's gonna fly. But let me give you a quick recap to how we got here, and then we'll get on to the racing. So as you know, we had two different engines in this car. Neither of them made any horsepower. We took the iron motor that was in this, put in Larry Kirkham's car. First pass out, it was within thousandths of the fast record. We ended up setting the record at a 931, went a whopping 148 mile an hour. Well, 147 on that 931 pass. It went a best of 929 at 148. But as soon as that happened, we were scratching our heads because that motor should have made power in this car, and it didn't. So long story short, the only thing that I never changed in this car was the torque converter. It's got a bolt together torque converter. I took it apart. I inspected everything. Everything looked good. I put it back in this thing, and let me show you the dyno numbers. This thing would always, this is the blue. So you see this blue, it would always max power would be 65, 6,700, and then it would just fall on its face. This is the car since day one. It would always fall on its face. We kind of always blamed it on the hood. This hood is only a 2-inch cal hood, to where a Corvette, an L88 Corvette hood is like 3.5, 4 inches. And then it's got this air cleaner base to where a Corvette, the top of the carburetor is almost sticking in fresh air. It's got a special air cleaner base that we always thought was good for the Corvette, killed the Camaro. So Larry's car on the dyno, first pull made like 740. That's when we knew we had an issue with this car. Talked about it for a while. We actually duct taped the hood closed, the cowl induction part on Kirkham's Corvette, took his air cleaner off, made 738. So it's just sucking in hot air, no cool air from the cowl induction system. Didn't make a bit of difference. That's when we decided the only thing that it could be was a torque converter. So this thing now has a different converter in it. It's a yank converter. It's their just basic converter that my dad has run for years. And it flat out made this thing a totally different car. I only pulled this thing to 7347, 7400 previously when I had the old converter. Just at 7400, this thing is up 73 horsepower. And now we're running it to 8 grand. It's falling on its face right at 8 grand. I don't know. It's going to make more power over 8,000. It's just... I don't know what's going on. I think it's running out of fuel, not like out of gas, but I think we're running out of fuel at the carburetor. So we need to look into something to fix that. But right now, I'll ship the thing at like 7,800, and I mean, this line continuously falls down. This thing could be every bit of 100 horse more at like 7,800 than what it had before. So enough talking. I'm gonna get this thing off the dyno. I've got to put 410s back in the rear end. I put 390s in it before this last race. Oh, I fixed it all. It's got a, well, I didn't actually fix it, but it's got a steel drive shaft in it. That's all I could get right now. New X-pipe. We went with the same exact mufflers I had. They are the welded Dynamax mufflers, just because everybody made such a big deal because it says no welded mufflers in the rules. It's kind of a stupid rule. So, yeah, I put welded mufflers back on it. Let's see, what else we changed? Nothing. Torque converter is it. So it's still got the 210 first gear. My 180 first gear tranny is getting fixed, but it might like the 210. We're going to go to 410s in the back. It might want even more than that, but we're just going to try it out for right now. And then we're going to pick this video up here in a few hours when we get up to the racetrack. Real quick, this is the aluminum motor. You can see it right there. Let me show you. The cast iron motor that Kirkham ran is right there. I just wanted to make clear, guys, this engine right here has been in this car since we put this thing together 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. So yeah, we've been killing ourselves the entire time with the torque converter. Alright guys, we finally made it up here. It is like 53 degrees out, very cloudy. There is, I don't know, probably about 25 cars here, so hopefully the track temp will be alright. Density altitude is ridiculous. It's like 800 foot right now. So if this thing runs, it's gonna run. We forgot to bring our drag radials just in case traction was a problem. So I think I might have a set of slicks up top. Not sure how those are gonna act on the sticky surface, but got this thing ready, got the battery charging up, and we'll be getting ready to make a pass here in probably about 10 minutes. All right guys, getting ready to make our first pass. I think we'll run it to the 8th. See what happens. If I'm feeling froggy, I'll run it to the 1/4. And then run it to the 1/4, but it's looking fine here, fuel. It won't make it to the end of the racetrack. It gets lean, like I was explaining this morning, it runs out of fuel or something. Man, this converter's tight. I don't know if I can make this thing work with this torque converter. I might have lifted a touch early. Man, I don't feel like that was a very good 60 foot, but it actually hooked and went, so. I hate how I don't get my slips down there and I gotta wait. I don't feel like that was as fast as it's been, but it's not bad with that 60 foot. Alright, so just went 164 60 foot, which absolutely sucks. 117 68 in the 8th, only 144 51. I don't know what the heck's going on. I think I got out of it a little bit there before the 1/4 because it goes lean, but I don't know. I feel like it probably should have been faster than that, but 60 foot kind of sucks. So we got a few things we're going to change on it and go make one more run. They're only going until dark, and it's pretty much dark right now, so we got to hurry up. We'll try to get it down the track and see if the change we made helps us or hurts us. I would tell you the change, but it's a top secret. Some stuff we got to keep to ourselves. right and it lugs that motor down. Well, obviously the car is not going to go down the racetrack. Spun 3 times, only went down once. We've got to figure something out. We got to find a converter that does what mine did down low and what this current converter does up top. Gonna have to find a converter company that's going to work with us. Nobody can just throw a converter together for these things. Somebody's got to be willing to look at data, and both these converter companies probably are. I just haven't made any phone calls yet. But this goes to show right here, you can't just throw one of these together and just go to the racetrack and be successful. This is a legit race car. I mean, you got to throw parts at it. Whether they work or not, the only way to find out is to go to the drag strip. On the dyno, we thought we were going to come out here and set the world on fire, and then we get out here and can't even make it past the 60-foot mark. So we found something. We've learned a bunch. My dad and I have kind of butted heads on converters. I think now we finally can probably put something together that could quite possibly not only help this, but help the black Corvette too, because the black Corvette also spins the tires if he leaves hard right where this car is lighting the tires off too. So definitely huge things have been learned from coming out here. But I'm going to wrap this video up right here. Wish we had better news for you. We found our horsepower. We didn't find our mile an hour or anything else, but gonna go ahead and pack this thing up, get it back to the shop, and start making our next decision on what we're gonna do next. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next.